Welcome to episode 5 of Good Girls Taking Care of Business. Tonight, we're going to see if the girls can take care of some FBI business. Plus, we're going to let you know who's getting a reoccurring role on Good Girls. All next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Taking care of business
Every day.
taking care of business.
I love this song. I feel like I can jam to this at work and just go through that to-do list, you know?
Right, yeah, I like it. With the glasses and everything.
The glasses. That's why I'm wearing the glasses tonight, is because I am here to take care of business.
I know, so did our girls tonight,
So did our
damn.
girls. Well, hey guys, welcome to the show. I'm Kelsey Hightower, and
I'm Juliet. Hey guys, so excited to be here.
I know. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the episode overall. What did you think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you not? What were your thoughts?
Well, we were kind of discussing this before, and I really liked this episode. I thought it was really entertaining. It was really great, good suspenseful moments, but a lot less subplots.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot more in the other episodes with so many twists and turns. A little less here, yet it was great. I liked it.
It was good. And yeah, like you said, we didn't see Boomer at all this episode. So his character was taking a break or something, so he was out of the picture. So it was kind of refreshing. So I liked this episode a lot too. I liked that it focused on the girls and just main characters and got right down to the nitty-gritty. So yeah, so if you guys are watching live, you can make sure to leave a comment. If you're watching this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up that you like it, like us, and 5 stars on iTunes. So yeah. Tonight, we are going to get started with talking about the girls. So the episode opens up with the FBI agent coming and talking to Beth and Dean. And they kind of alluded to they know something about these gang members. And it was kind of funny because Dean was really out of the loop on this. So Beth was definitely picking up what the FBI agent was putting down. He was saying, have you seen Rio, this gang member? And Dean comes back and is talking about this pesky neighbor problem. So it's kind of nice to see Dean out of the loop of things and saying these funny things. He kind of replaced Boomer, I think, in this episode.
Okay.
As far as stupid sayings.
Right. No, he's definitely not the sharpest pen in the box.
And
that
it's
is
good
for
to laugh
sure.
at.
Yeah. He's a little slow at times.
Yeah.
But that was a very interesting scene, right? Because a lot of tension. I was like, shut up, just stop talking. And he was just making it worse. And then, by his own stupidity, he makes a turn and just talks about the neighbor's dog and that whole thing. So it's crazy to me how he's not realizing what's actually going on.
I know. And you really don't like his character, and I feel like every time he comes on, it's just there's no saving it for you.
Oh no, I'm done with him.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Get out, all that. So,
oh, for sure.
So that FBI comes in and says all that, then he leaves, and then we see that Annie, her daughter, is leaving to go to Hawaii on vacation with the other family. So Annie's left alone over the weekend. When you're left alone, you're up to no good sometimes. So we see her throughout this episode a little lonely. And then we get to where the gang members are giving the girls the bags of money and saying, you don't have to clean it, take it to the grocery store, but I want you to write us a check with the money.
Right.
So, and we kind of see how each girl handles their money a little bit throughout this episode. And I really like seeing their personality. So Beth is pretty OCD. She makes a map because she has good Black Friday map out there. Ruby is just a nice, just that sweet, wholehearted character, and Annie's all over the place.
She really is.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really sweet. I love when they do that, when they take the whole housewife aspect and just bring it into this criminal aspect. We've seen this in the past episodes, and again, this is the Black Friday map, so she's always had that brain, right, where she has to conquer and get stuff done, and now it's just another level, which I think is really cool.
I know, and I relate to her, I think, the most. I know we've talked about this a little bit. About maybe who we relate to, but I feel like I have more of that, I would have a chart of all the places we're gonna go, and she color codes the rubber bands with the money, red is fake money, green is clean money. And I was like, that's so brilliant. It's so organized. I just love it. Your crime, A+, you know? So I really like that. Do you relate to any of the girls yet? Like, we're kind of midway through the season.
Right.
Do you, like, feel
I don't know if I mean, I depend on the storyline. I empathize with all of them. They all have their struggles, and they're all just keeping at it in such a great way, in their own twisted way, of course. But I don't know if I have a favorite just yet, so we'll have to wait.
TBD.
TBD.
I know, we're halfway through. So, so then the girls are trying to get out of cleaning the money. So when the gang guys come to the house, they try to say, like, here's your money back. Never mind. The FBI is coming. We're like, it's
scared, right?
Yeah, it's a little too close for comfort. Do you think they're ever going to get out of the game?
Well, no, because we have a whole season, right? So maybe not just yet. If they do, I think this show is not strong enough to stand on its own. As much as I love these characters, I don't really care to see them going back to their old life. You know what I mean?
Or like to maybe a different gang life. I don't know. Like, do you think they'll stay with the same?
Yeah, I need crime in there. I need some kind of. I like that whole aspect. It's why I kind of fell in love with the show. You know what I mean? It's that contrast between real people and, I mean, not fake people, but like, criminals.
Yeah,
living regular life versus a hectic, crazy criminal life.
I know. So I feel like as much as they're gonna say no, we want to get out, or not this time, they're still gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so then they go on this big shopping trip. They go to Cloud9, which is the other like tease for the other show, which is fun to watch. And we see that Beth is buying like a ton of blenders, and Ruby is like doing a huge return, and Annie goes shopping at like the TV store. I just feel like shopping with that amount of money would be so much fun, even if you can't keep it.
Yeah, but it's still stressful, though. Having that much cash on you, I would be stressed, even in my purse, and walking around, like, with thousands of dollars. That would give me anxiety. It gave me anxiety just seeing it.
I know. I get anxiety just thinking about, like, $100 bill in my purse. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I can't lose it, you know? Like, I lose things all the time. So, you know, if that goes away, gone in the wind, I'm like...
Yeah, someone steals your bag, sees your... It's just not safe. Do not walk around with that much cash on you. Like, don't.
That's a good tip for viewers, you know? Like,
a good tip.
Don't walk around with $20,000 cash.
Yeah, you know.
You know, counterfeit or not.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But, yeah, so we see them going shopping for, like, different things. If you had that much money, what would you go shopping for? Even if you couldn't keep it.
Bags.
I was thinking, like, why didn't they go shopping for like high-end fashion, like high-end
because they're not keeping anything, so
you can still return that.
Oh, you mean like wear it for a little bit and then like
you know, like take it back, you know, the next day be like, oh, it didn't work for my event.
Well, I think this is the first time that they're actually trying this, right? They don't know what stores are going to accept what, so they're just feeling it out. But maybe that's actually a really good point. Maybe a little prediction, like that later on, once they get more into ease into this whole system, they'll have fun.
I know, because you
I like to see that.
You know, you think about going down to like Rodeo and just blowing a little bit of cash and be like, oh yes, posh posh.
Right.
I think that would be fun.
But I think just according to the map that they pulled out, they're just trying to bang these in these big stores and just buy big appliances and just return. And because that way you don't, you know, they're returning a lot, right? A lot of items, very expensive receipts. So they need to have a good, you know, script in a way when they're going to the store, as we see with Ruby. Right? She's just talking. She was like, "Well, I changed the color of my kitchen,
my black backsplash."
Exactly. So now I need to, you know, but just return all these things. She's just blabbering, which I thought she was really great at and very stay calm and collected. But yeah, that's going to be an issue, you know, moving forward. They gotta keep on it
and go to different stores, because like once you show up buying quantity of all that stuff like a couple times, then they're gonna, you know, probably remember you.
They'll be like, this is the client that just always buys thousands and thousands dollars of worth of merchandise and then comes back and returns it. That's no.
I know. And nobody carries cash anymore. Everything's on a card. So I feel like anybody who's paying with cash is like, you know, a flag.
Right. I had to say that was my thought the whole episode. I was like, I don't know. I've seen people, you know, be rejected like with $100 bill, like we can't accept this, or, you know,
or like they don't have change for like $100 bill, even if it's like $20. They're like, oh, I have ones, and that's about it.
I thought that was, even though they have the machine, I just thought it was weird that they let that slide. All these stores were like, okay, $20,000 cash. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so strange.
And when Annie went to the TV place, they didn't even check any of the bills. You know, they were like, oh, yeah, $20.
Well,
I mean,
we'll
like, there was a thing.
Yeah. We'll get to that character, but same one. He's not that bright.
Yeah. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about it now. So Annie goes to the TV store, buys all the TV, $20,000, all that stuff, and gets this guy's number. And I was kind of for it. Like, I was like, that would be cute. I would love to see Annie with, like, a good guy, you know? And I was like, that's such a cheesy pickup line, but I would like to see, like, that type of guy with Annie. And, yeah, it turns out to be so bad. So, you know, she's at home alone. You know, bad things happen when you're bored and alone, I guess.
Right,
because
her daughter's out of town.
Her daughter's out of town on vacation with, you know, her dad.
Rich people.
They're rich people. The people who actually have, like, that much money. And, yeah, so she texts this guy to come over. He comes over and, like, they have a good night. And then he does this, like, terrible guy move where he, like, gets up and, you know, walks out. And he's like, oh, I need some water. And then, like, ditches. But he takes the receipt, as we saw. So
he does.
That was a problem.
That was a big problem.
Is always like losing stuff or just having this strain of bad luck throughout the series.
Right. I think she is a problem maker in a way because she's always doing these things. It's just, I'm like, how did you not think to put these receipts away? She had 4 receipts that were all at least like $20,000 each. That's just, why would you leave that out? At first, my first thought process was like, oh my gosh, did he take the cash? Did he steal the cash?
I thought that too. Yes, I thought the same thing. I was like, the money's gone.
Yeah.
Again.
So thankfully she was smart enough to put that away. But then if you're doing half of the work and putting the money away, put the freaking receipts away too.
I know, put it with the money, you know.
Or no, separate's fine. Like, I don't care, just not on the freaking table.
I know. Well, and that's an interesting thing that we see with the characters too, because Beth puts all of the money in like cereal boxes or like with her kitchen appliances and things like that. Ruby puts it in like a sewing kit or, you know, up in the closet. And then Annie, just wide open.
Yep.
Up for the taking.
Exactly.
As usual.
Well, that's kind of the, you know, and she talks about it too. She's like, I'm just an irresponsible millennial. And even in the beginning in the scene with her daughter, who seems more a lot of the time like the adult, she's like, remember to put your alarm clock for work. Remember to do this. And it's,
don't eat mac and cheese all week, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. So she's definitely the youngest, as we know, but also definitely the youngest at heart and in her brain.
And mindset.
In all aspects.
Just all around. But that's why you love her. She's hilarious.
She is.
I think she has some of the funniest lines in the series, personally. And so they stole the receipt, and then they had to figure out how to get it back. And we see Beth really standing out with, like, being on her toes as far as, like, lying when they had to go back to the tech store. She grabbed a clipboard, and she, like, talked to the employees and got them to give her, like, the contact list. And she just has, like, the best way with words. I don't know how she does it, but I wish that I had that gift. Because it is, like, a gift to be able to just lie that easily, I guess, to people. I feel like when I lie, I'm just like, I'm 5'3".
Right.
You know, like,
I mean, if this whole, like, criminal career does not pan out, she needs to be an actress, like the actual character, right?
Yes.
She's so good. She is so good. Or even a lawyer, like just manipulating and
or
all
like
that.
FBI, CIA.
Right. She could go undercover. She'd be so good at that.
That could be a prediction. She joins with the FBI.
Maybe.
Plot twist.
But we'll talk about predictions at the end of the episode.
Yes, we will. We'll get there. So they get the information. They go to Brian's, we guess, that guy's name. Annie can't remember names. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I can't either.
I can't either. Yeah. And they knock down the door, talk to him. He obviously was cheating on his girlfriend or wife or whoever.
Baby mama.
Baby mama with Annie. So that kind of, we see just kind of like the same like storyline, story arch with Beth and what's going on with her life, and then now Annie is kind of going through similar stuff but on the other end. So
it really mirrored that, and it was interesting to see her reaction, because how can you not feel for that woman and be mad at your sister because she's doing the exact same thing that's hurting you. So yeah, I thought that was a sweet scene, even though they were fighting, you know, just it was nice. I like seeing Beth be vulnerable. I like seeing all these characters be vulnerable and see how they react to all these crazy turns of events.
I know. And they continued to fight when they were like in the dumpster looking for that receipt. And I also kind of appreciated them getting into like a sister fight because that's really one of the first like real fights that they've had where they were taking some serious punches at each other. Like
they were mean, but they were funny. They were so funny. I was like, ooh.
I know. If I could like yell at somebody in a funny way like that, I'd be like,
even success. Ruby was Ruby was like, ooh, shots fired.
I know.
Like a little commentator on the back.
I liked that. I like Ruby in that role. But yeah, I kind of like them getting to like the nitty gritty of stuff because I feel like you can really see where each character is going from, like when they're arguing like that and when it's sisters, because you know when it's like family, they're still going to be together, you know, whether, you know, for the most part, I think through the series.
My question for you, so was like, what was this guy's MO to steal a receipt and then throw it away? Is it he didn't want no trace of it? But like, I didn't get it.
Well, that was the most confusing part. They even addressed that in the show, was that I think he was trying to get rid of it, like his phone number on the receipt so that like she didn't try to call him or like follow him, but his phone number was in her phone already. So I don't know why. I guess it's like covering his tracks so that like his wife never saw the receipt. Like she didn't come up and be like, look, you gave me your number. It's like he's trying to clear the air or something, cover his tracks.
Cover his track. But again, as I mentioned in the thing, she has his phone number.
I know. It was just a really bad way to cover your tracks, I think. So. Okay.
Well, at least.
At least. So they find the receipt after, you know, mulling through the garbage and doing some dumpster diving. So that was good. And then next we see the FBI coming back to the house and talking to Beth when she's like in the car with her kids. And he has a picture of Rio. And that's when things are getting like really nervous. And I'm feeling even a little bit nervous about the FBI storyline. I'm like, it's gonna blow up sooner or later.
Well, yeah, if you're committing crimes and the FBI shows up in your kitchen and comes to your home twice in one episode, it is not a good thing.
It's just not a good thing at all. Yes, so she says that she can't talk about it there. So that like gave her a little time to go find an alibi with Rio, and I'm interested in this. I think you're liking this storyline or story arch about Rio coming up with this alibi that they're having an affair. And I feel like once they talk about it, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Sooner or later.
Yeah, maybe. I have to say, even like, I think fans also are seeing this. There is a sexual tension. I'm seeing like on YouTube different comments.
Yeah.
I was looking at previews and stuff like that, and just the overall research for the show. And I had these fan videos that were popping up with like music montage of them, just like all the scenes together, and all the comments were like, oh, we could cut that sexual tension with a knife. I can't wait to see more of this. So
yes, and you guys have been commenting about it here in our comments and stuff, so you are on board with us. We love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really cool to see that flourish. But that was actually my first thought when the FBI showed up at the house. Just you know, if you are trying to stick with your whole alibi of just this little housewife, just say that.
Exactly.
You're just having an affair.
I know, especially when your husband is having an affair, and it lines up perfectly.
Right.
So yeah, so then we see that, and she kind of makes her plain, and then we cut to Sarah, Ruby's daughter, at the school. I believe that's her name. But Ruby's daughter, she passes out, or she has a seizure. Right. And that was really scary because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And she ends up going to the hospital, and what had happened was she wasn't taking her medication because she realizes that they don't have money, and it was so sad. I feel like that really brings the tears out every time, is their family.
Yeah, she was hiding the pills under her bed because they were poor, and I thought that was so sad. Yet, I don't know why, I just feel like she also had it easy, which is a weird thing to say about a sick kid, but her parents didn't get mad at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I would have been the mom, and I'd been like, listen, yes, I'm killing myself, right? Taking all these extra shifts, air quotes for iTunes listeners, / starting a criminal business on the side as well. And your dad's also working day and night, so we could have enough money to finally get these pills. We have these pills, and you're not even taking them? Come on. They didn't get mad at her at all. So it was sweet, too, because you get it. She's a poor kid. She feels bad. Poor kid. I feel bad for her, but still.
I think part of it was, you know, when she is passed out on the floor, you know, and that's like brings a whole new light to like the situation. I feel like there was a little bit of like, okay, we'll be mad whenever you like get out of the hospital, probably. Like,
maybe, I don't know. I thought, but maybe that's also not how their dynamic is.
Yeah. Well, because they made up that sweet story, you know, like they said, you know, we're really rich, like quit thinking, you know, you're royalty, you know, and they were both into it, you know, so
it was cute.
That might be their dynamic. You're probably right on that.
They're sweet. I think it is true when you're going through such hardships and your life, you know, is really on the line and you don't know if you're going to see your child within the next few years, months, weeks, who knows? Maybe it's a little harder to yell at them. I can understand that.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. And it was so sweet because after that, the girls were all at the hospital too. And they gave Ruby like the whole cut of their money. So that was just like heartwarming, you know.
It was very sweet.
Really tug at the heartstrings.
They really are in there on this, you know, all together.
Yeah.
And they're a little family. They're taking care of each other, and they all need the money in certain ways, right? And Ruby does know that. Yet they put that aside for now, and they're like, we're gonna focus on this because health of your loved ones always goes above anything else.
I know, especially your daughter. Like that's so sweet. And so they ended with Beth going back to the FBI and telling the whole story of the affair. And she did a really good job, but they did that thing where they ask questions like really quickly to make sure that you are telling the truth or to try and catch you. And she did a really good job, you know, answering those questions like very quickly. But I was getting nervous. I was like, I wouldn't be able to do that. Even if it was the truth, I'd be like, I don't know. Like maybe it was a bar. It was dark. It was light. I don't know. You know, I wouldn't handle that well. I feel like I would relate to Annie more on that one, probably how she would handle the FBI, which I feel like wouldn't be great.
Right. No, she wouldn't be that good with it.
Would not be that good with it. So,
but she's great with a lot of other things. You know what?
Comic relief. She's great at that.
She is really good at that.
I know. So, so then that was the end. That's where we ended on that episode. So it was good. Overall thoughts?
I think it was a little bit of a slower episode as we kind of discussed at the top of the show. Yet I'm really excited to see what's to come. Every episode I'm falling more and more in love with these girls and their bond and their friendships. And this show has me laughing and stressed out and crying, all the emotions.
Oh, what do you think about Boomer not being in this episode?
I'm fine with not seeing him in an episode for now.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. He's kind of an annoying character, and I get that's his whole shtick for the episode, for the series. So I get we need him in that way, but we don't need to see him all the time. So I was okay with that.
I was kind of okay with a breath of fresh air from that because he just is stirring the pot. Like he's going and creating more trouble all the time, and it's good to see them not in that much trouble this episode. Right. Just kind of like taking a break because you don't want every single episode to just be, you know, a good time and then going into like this tragedy and being like, we don't have the money, or now Boomer is stalking us and turning us in, and like it's so extreme.
Right, we can't throw too much at them.
Exactly.
Which I feel like they were doing a little bit in the earlier episodes where it was like left and right, and they were just getting punched in the face and punched in the face.
So much was happening in every
right,
episode,
so I kind of like, you're right, to have a little, they're taking it off a little bit off the pedal, off the gas, just a teeny bit, but it's still there. We're still going full force.
We're still driving.
For sure.
Okay, so before we get into the promo for next week and our predictions and some news, let's take a little breather ourselves and let's talk about this podcast.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes. Okay, so you have, I'm going to hand this over to you.
You're handing me the torch?
Handing you the torch.
Oh my God.
So tell us, you do such a great job because you love and follow this podcast. And I want to share this with everybody. I want everybody to be listening to this podcast and enjoying, you know, a breath of fresh air with us.
Well, the great intro, I have to say. Listen, like everybody. So if you want to have fun, learn, and grow in all aspects of your life.
I do.
You do?
I do.
Cool. Well, listeners, if you do too, we have a podcast for you.
Yes.
Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. So it's hosted by our founder, AfterBuzz TV founder, Maria Menounos. It drops every Friday on iTunes. You can just check out the podcast section in there. Maria Menounos, Conversations with Maria Menounos, and it will pop up. It's free. I mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it again because that's really, really freaking cool.
I love free things.
I know the best, right?
I know.
Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secret tips on how to be better in all aspects of life.
I
from
like that.
health to wellness to career, relationships, finance.
I need that.
Yeah.
Especially on this show. And if you're watching, you don't have to steal. You could just listen to our podcast by Maria.
Exactly. Let our Maria be the big sister for you, the big sister you've always wanted, right? We always need a big sister in our corner. Now you have Maria for free. I know I said that, but I'm gonna say it again.
I like that.
Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos. Be sure to comment and like and leave a comment and tell her that we brought her here.
Yeah.
Maria's our boss, and I want a gold star. So tell them Juliet brought me here, and I'll be very happy, and she will too, and you'll be happy too, because again, I mentioned such a great, free, amazing podcast.
Free. And she talks about money. So that's a win-win right there.
It is.
I love that. Okay, getting back to the show. So our promo that we saw at the end of this show for next week, episode 6, was that Dean or somebody finds the car.
Right. Are we getting into predictions?
We're about to get into predictions.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm giving,
You're teasing it.
I'm
Okay.
giving the
I like
tease
it.
here. So next week we will see that the car is found, the car that they stole, and that the girls are kind of expanding their business and they're bringing in other girls to help with the cash flow. With that being said, let's get into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
How'd you like that? Ooh. We can see the future, and the future is bright.
It is
I was trying to think of something with money, but I couldn't think. Green. Oh,
It is green.
missed opportunity. Okay, so do you have any predictions as far as, I know you've said in the past, Rio and Beth might be heating up in the kitchen. That's been one of your predictions. Anything else off the top of your head that you can think
Yeah, I think I'm sticking with that, and I think I'm like kind of getting there slowly. It's gonna be like a little build up, but if they've already talked about it in this episode, I think it's a step closer to that actually happening. And again, our fans, I'm not saying I want them to be in a relationship. I just saying that this woman needs her back cracked, and he is the guy to do that. Yes.
Love that.
And you mentioned the previews. We see that we're getting more women involved, which I think is going to be really funny to see. And I don't know how I feel about that yet. So we'll have to see next episode, because it could be kind of cool to get new characters. But we're so early into the season that I want to see more of the girls' dynamics. And they're just getting this business started. I don't know if they're ready yet to have employees. They're still the employees, and they need to figure stuff out before they hire interns or whatever, intern criminals, whatever you want to call them.
Annie's gonna be a boss. Like, I don't know. Not sure about that one.
I don't know. So no new predictions on my end. Sticking with what I've been saying, and yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the promos. What about you?
I like that. I think we're gonna see Boomer again. I think that's gonna be next episode. He's gonna come back in with his sneaky little things. Tricks up his sleeve. And then we're probably going to see more developing between Dean and Beth. And I think that we're going to see Beth finding out that he doesn't have cancer. So I think that'll be resolved maybe within the next episode.
Okay, that early?
I think it's going to be maybe that early, because they're really like, we saw he was saying like, I'm trying, and is it enough? And she's like, yeah, it's going to take some time.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's going to be early.
I kind of disagree with that.
You think it's going to be later?
I think this, poor Beth has so much going on that she's not as laser focused. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's hard for her to really see what is going on. And I think he's going to milk that for as long as possible. But
true.
I might be wrong. You might be right. But
or vice versa. And then one other thing I think might be resolved as early as the next episode is, I really think this is going to be next episode, is Ruby and Stan. I think he's going to find out about her not being employed, that she got fired, because it has been dragging on for a long time. I think it's time for him to find out some way. And he's like focused on their family and stuff too. So, because he already has been asking like, why aren't you wearing your uniform? And she answers, but he's going to find out.
Right.
She's not going to work. So
exactly. Ooh, I forgot about that one. Good one.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And you guys too, please comment on YouTube, on iTunes. Tell us your predictions. Give us thumbs up, because like, what else would you do, right? Thumbs up and then 5 stars. And yeah. And also tell your friends.
Yeah.
don't just profit of this entertainment for yourself. Tell your friends. Spread the love and joy.
I know. And we want to know your predictions. So tell us what your predictions are. We'll read them live next week. So I love that. Okay, one last thing. We have a small bit of news to share.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Give it to us.
Okay, so we are going to have a new reoccurring character on Good Girls. It's Allison Tolman, and she played in Fargo.
Ooh.
Yeah, so IMDb her. She is going to be playing a single mom throughout the series, and they've already signed her, so we're going to see her in the next few episodes. And she's going to be, I think, coming on to help the girls with their business. So, yeah, so it's exciting to see a new character jumping into this. Have you found her on IMDb yet?
I did, and actually, no, she's funny. She's a cute little one. So
yeah. Any others besides Fargo that you want to mention? Or that's
what do you mean, other shows that I like?
Yeah, that she's on?
No, I'm just looking at how pretty she is.
Oh, we're just looking at pics. You can go look at pics too right after this coming up. So that's our show, guys. Thank you for watching. Tell the good people where they can find you.
I will, but also because you mentioned Fargo, I'm going to mention that we talked about AfterBuzz, and there's also so much to check out there. We do a Fargo after show.
We sure do.
And we do so many after shows for so many TV shows, your favorite TV shows. We're the ESPN of TV Talk. So make sure to, after you're done watching us, watch us again and again, and then tell a friend. I've told you that already, but then watch other stuff, and also go on Instagram and go follow me at Bonjour Juliet or Bonjour Juliet, which is the same account.
I love that. And you can follow me, Kelsey Hightower, at Kels Hightower on Instagram or Twitter. Mainly Instagram, though.
Do both.
Do both. I'm on Instagram, though, so there you go. Thanks for watching, and next week we will be back with more good things.
Bye.
See you then.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.